Ready? Clearing. So today on the shuffle, I'm hearing, how does the divine masculine tell the difference between an aligned divine partner and a karmic partner or a lower vibrational connection? So I'm going to do a chakra reading and dive into at this time what my divine masculine viewers can be aware of. And you know, even for divine feminines, you can just do a vibe check with what comes out here. So thank you, divine creator, for using me as a channel of only the highest, most beneficial. What is the contrast of a divine feminine versus a feminine in a lower vibrational energy? What is the advice for the masculines watching? What can we see for aligned feminine energy? Those who are in wholeness, self-love, accountability, freedom, joy, high frequency. What on all the chakra levels can the divine masculines watch for in their divine counterpart right now, or potential divine counterpart? And what can we see for any contrasting feminine energy, any misaligned or lower vibrational energy that might be difficult to discern for the masculines? Be able to tell the difference on each of the chakra levels. What can we see? Okay, first out, crown chakra. So what are we going to get on our connection to source, divine masculines? When you're looking at feminine energy from a God-centered, source-connected lens, what do we need to be aware of? Okay, guilt in the inverse. This says, I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth. Okay, so masculines on the crown chakra, 222 on the counter. Your connection to source is helping you come out of guilt shame cycles. So let's see what we get for divine feminine energy. Okay, joy and celebration. So your feminine, this is interesting because this can be third-party situations. So when you're working out the final levels of guilt and shame between you and your creator, your feminine will be in a high enough frequency and pretty much good on their own. This is the world. So they will be somebody that is able to be friends with other feminine energies and not in competition. They will be somebody that is able to celebrate without sexual tension. They will be somebody who pretty much has everything they need already in their mastery, and just a few, very few things that still need to be balanced out for ultimate joy. And you'll be able to tell this. You'll see somebody that's got their stuff together, that is also, not kind of, some people have what looks like it's all together, but they're not happy. This is a celebration energy. So even, your divine feminine energy is going to have appreciation, gratitude, flow, even dealing with anything that's not picture perfect in their lives. They're going to be good on their own, whether you act out of guilt or shame templates, whatever you throw at them, they're still going to keep their vibe high. And because they've got a connection to source. What about karmic feminine energy? So karmic feminine energy is going to, let me look at this particular king of, he's got a plunger in his hand. So it's like something is stuffed up, something is backed up there with emotional communication. There's a lot of withholding. When there's guilt, there's maybe like, icing out, silent treatment, control issues, using the emotions to not speak clearly, to not, there's a manipulation to this energy that comes from not wanting to address the heartache. It's like there's no requirement of you to change these patterns. You don't feel like you need to become a better person. It's like this person isn't going to have anything to say about it, but they just want you there. But they're not going to talk about anything that is meaningful to you. They're not going to want to hear your experience. They're going to just want to keep it out of sight, out of mind, so that change and growth doesn't come in. They don't want to really address the things. You could pull the wool over their eyes, you could behave in any way, and they're not going to really do much to change. They're just going to try and maintain. Whereas the feminine is literally going to enjoy having their best life over here. This person, you're going to tell that they are bothered. This is unbothered. This is bothered. This is attachment. This is taking it personally. This is being in a hurt, wounded energy, feeling like it's a rejection. So this is maybe triggering for some divine feminines out there, but divine feminines move through the angst into this joy. Karmic feminine energy, it goes underground, covert, and stays there, and there's no real progress. The feminines can take it or leave it. The divine feminines can take it or leave it. The karmic feminine energy wants you anyways. Even if true growth and healing doesn't happen, they just want to turn a blind eye to it and, you know, bulldoze through and be strong and continue. What is the advice for the masculines regarding this? Impeccability, advancement, and loftiness. So yeah, your divine feminine is going to be someone that really understands when you are in guilt, shame cycles and doesn't want any part of your karma. They want to meet you on an impeccable level. They don't want to settle for anything less than true. With the karmic feminine energy, they don't even want you to grow. They just want you to stay where they met you. They just want to have you under their control. And so if that means, you know, not rocking the boat, then that is what's going to happen. So what can we see for, I'm going to turn this off because it feels like the battery's going to die. Is it gonna? I can't tell. Okay, anyways, intermission. What can we see for the third eye chakra? Advice for masculines differentiating between the two. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. So when you're thinking about the feeling of being lonely, not in solitude, not balanced out in your own hermit mode, but loneliness, let's see how the divine feminines connect with that loneliness. Six of Cups and the one that got away, regrets from the past. So divine feminines know that if the reunion hasn't, like if you're not seeing eye to eye, that they can move on, that they're going to release you and, you know, not hang on to things that haven't flowed in the past. They're going to keep the door open. They're going to intuitively be able to tell when it's not unrequited love. They're going to know if you loved them. They're going to intuitively know that there was some other circumstance going on that prevented you from connecting on those deeper levels, and that when the loneliness is there, they're going to know that it's not their fault and that it's just all part of the becoming. They're going to understand it as a need for deep, deep internal balancing and healing, but they're not going to take it personally. They're going to manage whatever they're triggered by if there is spaciousness or distance or solitude in your connection, they're going to believe that it can come back around. They're not going to believe that it is all lost. They are going to know that these times are heating and cooling, and that it's for growth, and that when you come back together, if that happens, that it's going to be better than ever, not that it's all lost. They're not going to stay in that suffering thinking that, you know, out of sight means it's once and for all doomed and everything is going to hell in a handbasket. They're not going to do that. They're going to be practical, grounded, realistic. They're going to understand that it just needed some space to come to deeper, independent awarenesses. What will the karmic feminine energy behave like? Okay, so basically they're going to try and like annoy you, get your attention. They're not going to give you space. Hermit mode would be giving space, trusting in the destined plan. This is them, you know, chasing, being scared, being gloomy, coming up with excuses to, you know, intrude, cross over, neediness, needing your attention, trying to make it about them, trying to get you to feel like you are doing something wrong by getting in tune with your core, by when you have concerns or you're not having decency met, they're going to feel like you're criticizing and punishing them. They're going to come at you with a whole different array of sales pitches and angles that put it on you. There's arguments, there's hashing it out, accusations, blame, victim. It's not ever going to feel restful. It's going to feel like you're doing something wrong. But divine feminine energy will make you feel at peace. That if you're feeling lonely or distant, that you have an in with the divine feminine if you come to them with genuine energy. Whereas the karmic or lower vibrational energy will be very outspoken that you're somehow in the wrong and make you feel like you're less than and that you should come to them. It will be like a controlling thing, like a guilt tripping thing. What can we see for the advice for the masculines in this? Journey, exchange, transference. So yeah, this is part of the journey, is to really go through these comparisons so that you understand what honor and respect is and not this trespass of sovereignty. What can we see for the throat chakra? Blame. Yeah, so I accept responsibility for my well-being. How are the karmic feminine, or how are the divine feminines regarding this sovereignty, acceptance of responsibility versus blaming? So yeah, Queen of Wands. So the divine feminines are empowered in their own right. They know that they have only the version of them yesterday is the only thing they're in competition with, becoming impeccable, aligned, embodied. This is my temple embodiment. This is the holy fire of spiritual realization, without need for public show, without need for acclaim, without need for bragging rights or any kind of, you know, triangulating people. This is in their own right, from their own knowing. They know that whatever they're engaging with, that's on them. It takes two, and they are willing to look at the accountability, the responsibility for their own well-being, and really not put it on someone else. They don't even need anyone to tell them if they're doing something right or that external approval. They don't need that spotlight approval on them. They do it in their own right. They walk to the beat of their own drum, and they're exquisite. Their character, their integrity, their compassion. Their conscience is clear. They don't blame. They know that everything they're experiencing, if they don't like it, they have manifested it, or they're saying yes to it past when that is due. And so they just don't go there. What about karmic feminine energy or lower vibrational? They're hot and cold. They tune out what they don't want to hear. They're selective. They won't hear when you're talking to them about something. They tell the story the way they want to. They invent things and come off as though they know everything and they've already had it figured out, and they tell your story. So this is like, they don't listen. I'm not being that right now. Stop it. But they're hot and cold. If they don't like what you have to say, they tune you out or they pull ranks. Anyways, okay, what can we see for the advice there? Path change, paradigm shifts, and adjustments. So divine masculine, seeing the way that a whole person, an integral person, stays calm and continues just living in their truth versus somebody that's clearly defensive and in denial. Now, I don't want to demonize people there. That comes from wounding. That comes from insecurity. And if you're in this energy of this lower vibrational stuff, watch this again all the way through and see what the contrasts are. If you're a divine feminine who's having trouble like coming into a balance permanently, watch this back and see where you go from those recognizable lower vibrational things. If you're watching this video, you know, you are on the path to becoming divine, aligned. We all are divine, but it's a matter of remembering that and then cultivating the discipline, the practice to keep that as a high frequency. So we're looking at the contrast between lower frequency expression and higher frequency expression. So this is a beautiful demonstration for feminines and masculines here. Okay, so path change, paradigm shift, and adjustment. So make adjustments accordingly to invest with those who are in their wholeness and to literally cut the cords, remove the investment to those who are not balanced out so they can be accountable for their own energy and get there. Use your discretion, your discernment, have conscious conversations, masculines, if you must, but really get it clear that you have free will to manifest something that is not about codependent projection and blame and victim. You can come into wholeness where you're not seeing that mirrored in your reality, and you can actually connect with a divine feminine who is peace-loving and balanced and grounded, and you can have more of a harmonic experience. What can we see on the heart chakra? Doubt. I release the need to know all the answers. Okay, how do divine feminines meet you on the heart space? Doubt-free, prosperity and growth, and inner work. So divine feminines are always lifelong learning, doing work, cultivating their, trust and faith and looking to the light, looking for confirmation of the good things, of growth. First and foremost, divine feminines, their whole heart is ablaze for progress, for growth, for abundance, for reciprocity, for aliveness. And they make it a way of life to cultivate that and to continue expanding always. They don't have doubt, because if they have doubt, they work on how to move past it. They do what is needed to tap in and to expand their consciousness so that they are more grounded, sure, confident, empowered, and healed. What about the karmic feminine energy? They question themselves. It's hit and miss. They fall prey to, acting out, drama loops, and periods of not knowing, periods of making drastic cuts and then reneging, saying things they don't mean, acting out of fear, not being still and knowing the truth, kind of running amok, being knee-jerk, reactive, not in their center. What is the advice, masculines, for these two energies? Enthusiasm, learning, generosity, and fortune. Go towards that lifelong learning, the abundance, the growth, the generosity, the enthusiasm. Go in that direction. Stabilize. Don't connect with somebody that is all over the place unless they balance out. We're all a work in progress, and if we're still in a volatile energy where we haven't come into a centered grounding, maybe it's premature to go into a relationship with that person and think that you can trust them, because if they don't trust themselves yet, they're not trustworthy within relationship. And that's not that they're a bad person, they just don't know themselves well enough to know what they want yet. Divine feminines are focused on knowing who they are, what they want, and they see the pathway to achieving that because they have an intimate awareness of the workings of that. And that's where you can have a power couple duo, is that if you're interested in going where the going is good, align with a divine feminine, because they're not preoccupied by insecurities and lower vibrational hang-ups. They just want to experience life to the fullest and see what the two of you are made of. What can we see on the solar plexus chakra? Fear. I realize that I am testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Okay, so how do the divine feminines handle times of fear, that empowerment, the personal confidence and empowerment? They become curious. If they don't know something, if something feels off, they don't go forward. They don't say yes if this stuff isn't balanced out, and if they don't feel grounded or settled with their yes being their yes. They are curious when they don't know something, when they have a bad feeling, when something feels off. They look at it. They assess it. They don't carpet sweep it. They ask it, what is it here to tell me? How am I expanding? Okay, I'm 22. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone. How do I feel about it? They tune in. They trust their gut instinct. If something is off, they do not pretend. And so they don't evoke oopsies or backlash or karma, because they want to be thorough and genuine and real, and they don't want to cut corners. How do karmic feminine energies handle fear? They pretend everything's okay, and inside they're falling apart. They don't ask for help. They save face. They bulldoze through. They convince themselves that it'll all be fine no matter what. It reminds me of that meme of the little chihuahua with everything burning down. It's fine. It's like that. They're in denial. And they're like, you know, something's got to be wrong, but they're not talking about it. Fake it till you make it. Whereas divine feminine energy doesn't pretend that way. They really admit that they need more information or more time, or they're curious about something from a different angle. Karmic feminine energy or lower vibrational just like bears down and hopes for the best. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. What is the advice for the masculines here? Chamber of incantation, invocation, ceremony. So vow to yourself, masculines, that you're going to align with those who don't carpet sweep, that you're not going to carpet sweep, that you want to know what you're getting into, that you want disclosure, that you want transparency, that you want vulnerability, that you want truth. Above all else, you don't want fake. Be willing to communicate so that, you know, no rock is left unturned. If there's a major decision, your divine feminine is going to be somebody that will really weigh out the odds with you. Your karmic feminine choices are going to basically be naive and gullible and not put in the work, aren't going to want to question things to the degree that they are sure that they know what they're getting into. They're going to say yes when they mean no, and they're going to say no when they mean yes, because they don't know themselves well enough. They haven't learned the lessons, the karmic lessons well enough to be sure. This is, again, another understanding as to what happens when we get into relationships before people have come into mastery. There is an instability at the core. Whereas divine feminines do not go forward to things where it's built on a faulty foundation. So yeah, masculines, this is your chance to just say no more to getting in over your head. What can we see for the sacral, the sexual connection? Acceptance. I'm learning to accept the things I cannot change. That's unconditional love. So how do the divine feminines on the sacral with the sexual connection practice acceptance? Four of Swords, they take a break. They don't sweat it. If you're not into them, they're not into you. They do not want what doesn't want them. They can't fake it. Their sacral chakra is so dialed in that if they were to pretend, they wouldn't get turned on. You wouldn't be able to stimulate them. So yeah, masculines, if they can't change something, they know when to call it quits. They know when to back off. They know when to rest. They know when to give it space. And they don't tell negative, low vibrational storylines. They're just out, trusting that all is as it's meant to be. And they don't overstep. They just give peace. They wish well. They hold space. They do some meditation. They integrate what they need to know about why they were in that position and then what transpired, but they rest on it. They don't fill in the blanks. They allow, they accept. What about lower vibrational energy? Okay, they lament and they're always waiting. This is like the chariot not moving forward is like in this waiting and lamenting and longing and pining. And lower vibrational, they don't accept. They stew over it. They overthink. They tell lots of storylines that make them suffer. They hurt. What is the advice for you masculines? Flower of feeling, compassion, emotional awakening, and forgiveness. So forgive yourself for testing the energies. When we're unconscious, we test love. You can test a divine feminine. You can test lower vibrational karmic partners. Forgive yourself for testing that. And, awaken to your emotional savvy masculine so you don't have to test, so you can actually discern what is what. When you can't change something, you can accept it by seeing it in the loving way, in the higher vibrational way. So you must come out of attention seeking or manipulation or reverse psychology or hypothetical or aloof or non-direct communication. And you've got to have compassion and just, bare your soul, be transparent. If you are honest and open with a divine feminine, if they don't resonate with you or what you're saying, they will leave well enough alone. If you are bearing your soul and vulnerable on that sacral pleasure level, and you tell a karmic feminine that you're maybe not on the same page or what you like and they don't like that, then they are going to be in this wallowing about what's wrong with them and how they're going to fix it to make you change your mind instead of just resting. There's a lot of busyness and angst going on in the karmic stuff. And that again is not to condemn when we are in karmic motion. But if we really haven't come into our wholeness there yet, there is a lot of anxiety in that lack of pleasure on the sensual level, that rejection. We take a sexual rejection as a moral attack, when we are in karmic energy, when we haven't learned our worth as feminines on the sacral chakra, we take it personally, and our whole attractiveness, our whole worthiness is deemed unlovable. If a masculine is not in alignment with us on that sacral level and we want it, divine feminine energy knows that they are able to hold their head high with their conscience clear, and they know whatever is different or whatever you might bring to the table there, they see it as an incompatibility, and they wait it out by, continuing to feel joy and manage their own energy regardless of your opinion of them or your acceptance or rejection at any given time. They're good. They're good on their own. What is the root chakra? Forgiveness. Oh, we just had the word forgiveness back to back. I acknowledge that harboring resentment blocks the flow of love. So forgiveness on the root chakra, that is finished business in the physical. When we have forgiveness, we make every decision in and of itself without attachment to outcome, without baggage from the past. When we walk in forgiveness, we walk in grace. When we do not incite or initiate karma by making insecure decisions, we are in a state of forgiveness, because we know we're doing our best and we're only connecting with things on that level. How do the divine feminines handle root chakra? They do what they can. Presence. There's my card of being in the present moment without the baggage, without the expectation for the future. And this is connected to divine guidance, the high priest. So the divine feminines are always running their choices, their actions, their words, their emotions, their frequency through higher guidance, and they are doing things that do not hook, they do not trap, they do not have a power struggle. It is simple, it is kind, it is necessary, it is true, it is present. They know that they have overcome so much that they never want to initiate an imbalance consciously again. So they do their best in the physical, actions speaking louder than words. They walk the walk, they talk the talk, they are embodied, they are true, they are trustworthy. What do the karmic feminine energies, lower vibrational energies do? They manipulate, they manifest things out of their ego. They want progress. They're always wanting progress. Nothing that a developing energy does is strictly to harm. They're always doing their best. They always feel like it's what they are meant to do. And so forgiveness takes some time to manifest. This implies with the Six of Swords that there is work involved with trying to get to a progressive place. They don't necessarily know to focus on progress and win-win. They just want to manifest their way. They're headstrong. They're maybe hardened and not in forgiveness. They don't want progress. They want to be right. They want it their way. And they demand that, or they are just, tuning out and insisting. Yeah, so they harbor resentment. They block the flow of love. They block the progress to calmer waters. They do everything they can to prove how their version of reality is right. They're not open to letting the past go and allowing redemption to come in. Okay, what can I see here? Okay, I'll pull one moon card. One moon card for the feminines watching. Truth. So dig deep within, divine feminines, karmic feminines, a mix of both. dig deep within and find your truth. Where are you actually at in these contrasting energies? And really ask higher guidance, how can I go from a developing conscious energy to a more balanced, whole, divine energy? And for the masculines watching, what can we see? Exalted moon, self-regulation. So yeah, masculines, choose wisely. You are only as divine as you allow yourself to choose and function and engage or interact. So you become what you associate with, or you gravitate to what is familiar and settle. So this is your opportunity to use this reading for self-regulation and to choose which version of connection is your preference. Where are you at? You know, if you are not in an aligned expression, you might be magnetized to a more volatile karmic scenario. It might seem exciting and unpredictable, and you might be addicted to feeling the letdown and the manic energy of a roller coaster with somebody. That doesn't mean you can't bring a connection like that into more of a higher frequency, but it takes a lot of intention and spaciousness and a priority for growth. This also means, masculines, that if you are in a position to have the love of a lifetime and purity and balance and righteousness and innovation and a dynamic duo that really brings contribution to the world, the energies of the divine feminine are perfect to partner with because they've got the petty things out of the way and they want to be exponentially passionate with you into the world. They believe in growth and aliveness, and they want to cultivate and foster that out into the world. So your self-regulation will put you into alignment. So very much honesty with self, masculines. What are you investing into? Okay. Many blessings. Bye for now.